If a person would like to build a mini Berkshire Hathaway, how would they go about it? How could a small business owner replicate Warren Buffett? I think there are 6 building blocks required to replicate Warren Buffett's structure. The first one is capital. I think the person should have earned the majority of the capital rather than just inherited it. Because if the person has earned their money through a business, they would also have developed a lot of valuable skills along the way. If the person has inherited their wealth, they should probably just invest it 100% passively, because they don't want to gain skills using trial and error with this money. They don't want to be the person gaining skills and the other person earning all the money. The person who has earned the majority of their net worth, they will probably have developed a lot of valuable business skills at the same time, like sales, marketing, capital allocation, etc. They can really understand how a business works. It is just like a mechanic who opens the hood to a car. They can see what isn't working and then correct it. So we could agree that the second building block is business skills. Warren Buffett, he ran several small businesses while growing up and developed a direct experience with handling cash flow and managing businesses. But how come so many entrepreneurs who manage to build and sell a business successfully then go and blow all their money on trying to build a second one? Or fail when trying to invest their money in other businesses? I think it's because they fail to recognize how much luck played a part while building their business. They just happened to be at the right place at the right time. But as most people, they would much rather credit their own skills and their own intelligence. They then bring an overconfidence in trying to build another business or invest in other businesses. And that's why they fail. And this leads up to the third building block, that is a clear perspective or a freedom from biases. When building a business, the entrepreneur succeeds because they have an enormous belief in themselves and in their own product. An enormous focus is required to succeed, and the entrepreneur can seldom think in wider terms or seek perspective. And this can lead to a type of blindness, even though the entrepreneur is temporarily right. So in order to gain more perspective, we could study Charlie Munger's description of the 25 mental biases. And this can lead to us making fewer mistakes and learning how we and other people think and make decisions. And this could really help us to make fewer mistakes, which is really, really important when it comes to capital allocation. If we can lower our number of mistakes, we can have better returns and stay longer in the game. Getting a chance to invest in other businesses is difficult, especially if we have developed some kind of skill or a reputation in another area. So we could ask ourselves, why would a small business owner seek an investor? So they would probably be in need of capital in order to make an expansion, or they were having some temporary struggle due to a market downturn and they need help to pay their bills. They might also be in need of expertise in their business and how to grow it. So finding a person who has both capital and valuable skills could be very valuable for them. So this is what we need to be associated with. We need to be associated with capital and skills. So we need to develop a brand that breathes these things. When someone thinks of us, they should think of these 2 words, capital and skills. If someone has a problem in their business, they should think of us. If someone wants to expand their business, they should think of us. Developing this brand is crucial in what we're trying to achieve. And it could be done by writing a blog, creating content for business owners that could help them, or taking courses from really valuable schools and institutions. And that leads up to point 4, developing a reputation or a brand. One reason why many people fail to invest their money actively is because they invest in things that they don't have a clue about. They end up with experience while someone else ends up with the money. I believe profits and returns are made in the small details and small nuances after having spent 10,000 hours mastering a sector. This is when an understanding of how things work starts to emerge. We simply know. And this is the area where we should invest in. Not in the latest tech company or some company just because it's hot. Charlie Munger, he often referred to a person who only invested in real estate surrounding Stanford University. When there was a downturn in the economy, he bought real estate. When the market was overheated, then he sold. He only invested in this area because he really knew it. And he knew more about this area than any other investor. In other words, his circle of competence is not very wide, but it's very deep. So the 5th point is that we need to develop a circle of competence. Most businesses are lousy and few of them survive 5 or 10 years. And of the ones that survive, most of them just stay small. So learning the small signs, the details and the nuances of a dying business is important, as well as of a growing business. We need to really understand the differences between these two. What are the factors that could really kill a business? What are factors that make a business grow? Learning how to avoid the bad apples is super important, but also learning how the really good ones look is also equally important. And this leads up to a mental framework of how bad businesses look and how good businesses look. So I believe these are the 6 building blocks that we need in order to build a mini Berkshire Hathaway and to replicate Warren Buffett. We could then see which of these building blocks are the weakest for us and how can we strengthen it. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you so much for watching and see you next week.